أخي العزيز مرحبا بك إلى هذه القناة قناة الأيوبي. You are welcome to Al-Ayyubi platform where you shall learn Arabic language with ease. Today we shall be talking about how to construct simple sentences in Arabic. The simple sentences we are talking about is the ones that are constructed on the structure of subject, verb, and object. Subject, verb, and object. Just as we have in English, the subject can come first, followed by the verb, and followed by the object. The same thing applies to Arabic. But the best one is to have the verb first, only that we are starting with the subject just because that is what you're familiar with in English. When we say subject, verb, object, it means you have a noun as a subject at the beginning, then followed by a verb like this, then followed by a noun which will be serving as your object. When we are talking of subject in Arabic, it is usually given a dhamma on its end. Just as we have a dhamma on Ahmadu, we are using it as an example. You can use any other noun of your choice. It depends on what you want to express. If the subject for you is Janet, for example, you use Janet. If it is Ibrahim, you use Ibrahim. If it is James, you use James. But just note that the last letter there will take a dhamma, which is pronounced as U. You say Ahmadu, Ibrahim. But in the case of nouns that are not Arabic originally, such nouns will be pronounced as they are pronounced in their language. For example, James is pronounced as James. Janet, Janet. You don't say Janeton, you don't say Jameson. So adding a dhamma to its end is applicable to Arabic words alone and words that can be used in such a way. Ahmadu, you give it a dhamma. That is a rule for the subject in Arabic. Just for this level, you give it a dhamma. Then yumsiku is the verb we are using here. Yumsiku is the verb we are using. This kind of verb is called fi'l mudari'u. Fi'l mudari'u. And fi'l mudari'u in Arabic can mean progressive verb. That is a verb that is continuous in nature, or a verb that indicates the action that will happen in the nearest future. So yumsiku could mean is holding, and yumsiku at times could mean will hold, depending on the context in which it is used and the intention of the user. Yumsiku, but what we want to use here is if you mean that the thing is happening in the present situation, you say is holding, then you add ing to the verb. Is holding. Ahmad is holding. If you mean future, you say Ahmad will hold. Ahmad will hold. Now, in Arabic, we don't have be verbs. Is, am, are, were, etc. We do not have them. But you insert them appropriately whenever you are in need of them when you are translating into English. Ahmadu yumsiku is holding or will hold. Is holding or will hold. Another rule is that the verb will have a dhamma on its end, except in some exceptional situations, which we shall be unfolding and revealing in the subsequent videos like God's grace. Yumsiku, you give it a dhamma. That is what a verb, a progressive verb like this, what it takes originally, it takes a dhamma, except in those exceptional situations. Ahmadu is holding, Yumsiku is holding. Another thing you need to note here is that we use ya here. You. It can also come in the form of no, it can come in the form of tu, and it can come in the form of u, depending on the subject performing the action. That means the subject here will still affect the verb, how you structure your verb. The subject here will still affect it. Once the verb is progressive or future, it will affect it. If you use you, it means you are talking about somebody, a male, singular. You are talking about Ahmad. Ahmad is not the one speaking. Ahmad is not the one being spoken to. You are not directing your speech to Ahmad. Rather, you are talking about Ahmad. In such a situation, you use you. You means he. You means he. Ahmad is holding, or Ahmad will hold. When you are referring to a third person singular, male, then you use he. If it is you as a speaker, together with the other person, then you use no, we. We're all students now and we all learn. You say nata'allamu, na, you use na. So nata'allamu, numsiku, you use non just because the dua here is first person plural. You now use no, numsiku, not yumsiku again. You say numsiku. Ahmadu yumsiku. Nahnu numsiku. Nahnu means we. We numsiku. You now change it from you to no. Then, if it is a single person, you face the person you are talking to him, you say tumsiku. Tumsiku. You means anta. Anta, you. Tumsiku. 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 You are holding or you will hold. Tumsiku. And if it is only one person that is speaking, first person singular, then you say umsiku. I am holding. Umsiku. I means Anna. Umsiku. Anna. Umsiku. Once again, he means huwa. Huwa. He means huwa. And we means nahnu. Nahnu. And she means hiya. And I means Anna. So huwa yumsiku, he is holding or he will hold. Nahnu numsiku, we are holding or we will hold. Hiya tumsiku, she will hold or she is holding. Anta tumsiku, anta, you. Tumsiku, you are holding or you will hold. Ana umsiku, I am holding or I will hold. As case may be. That's not about the verb, how it is used. Then moving to the object. The object will usually be a noun, and the rule is that an object has fatha. You give it a fatha. Object has a fatha. Usually, it will have a fatha. That's why instead of saying qalamun, we say qalaman. That will show that you are using it as an object. Daftaron. Qalaman means a pen. A pen. Daftaron means a notebook or exercise book. Jawala means a phone, a handset. Misbaha means a torch or lamp. Then sikina means a knife. Kurota kodamin. Kurota means ball and kodami means foot, football, a football. And shahinan means a charger, a charger. That's how to use the object in Arabic. You ensure that you give it a fatha. If you now made that Ahmad is holding Muhammad, that means you say Ahmadu yumsiku Muhammadan, giving Muhammad a fatha. Fathatan. Muhammadan. If it is Ahmad is holding Ibrahim, now that you've known this construction, the structure, you just construct it as Ahmad yumsiku Ibrahim, giving Ibrahim a fatha. Another point I would like to call your attention to here is that qalaman here means a. It is indefinite. Just as we have a pen, a boy, a ball in English, the same thing applies to Arabic. When it has a, it means it is indefinite. The same thing applies to Arabic when you give it a tenwin. You say qalaman. The moment you give it a tenwin, it means it is not definite. It is indefinite. We don't know the actual pen it is. So qalaman. If you now mean definite, if you mean the pen, instead of saying a pen, you then say al-qalam, al-qalam. By the time you add alif and lam like this, that means you have mentioned the. In that case, you don't need tenwin again. So the two of them do not mate, just as we cannot say the ball. It is impossible. You can either say a ball or you say the ball. The same thing applies to qalaman, al-qalaman. If it is indefinite, then you say yumsiku qalaman. And if it is definite, you say yumsikul qalaman. Then you pronounce it without a tenwin. Yumsiku daftaro. Yumsiku jawala. Yumsikul jawala. Yumsikul misbaha. Yumsiku sikina. And yumsiku kurotal qadami. Yumsiku ashahina. Without a tenwin. So that's that about the simple sentence with the structure of subject, verb, and object in Arabic. You can use this to generate as many examples as possible for you. Just memorize few words, then try to use them in sentences like this. So you can use yumsiku. You can look for another verb. You can look for another verb like yaktubu. Yaktubu means is writing. Ahmad yaktubu. Ahmad is writing. Yaktubu. For example, we have notes, which is our lesson, which is dars. Dars at dars. You now say Ahmadu yaktubu darsa. Ahmad is writing the lesson. Ahmad yaktubu risalata. Ahmad is writing the letter. So Ahmad yaktubu ash-shahadata. Ahmad is writing the certificate. That's the structure. Subject, verb, object. If it is we, you now say nahnu naktubu ar-risalata. We are writing the letter. Or he, you say she. Fatimatu taktubu ar-risalata. Fatima is writing the letter. And I am writing the letter. Ana aktubu al-risalata, in the same structure. Now, have a nice day. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, comment, and like. In fact, share our lesson. Have a nice day. You're welcome.